Thank you everyone for joining in. I am your host Barry for today's webinar, and please be online while we have the speakers joining in. We are sorry for the inconvenience and the delay in today's webinar.
Hello everyone. We are receiving your messages, but we are trying to fix the error on here. If you could please allow us a couple of more minutes and we'll share the details with you. We are sorry for the trouble. We really appreciate your cooperation and patience. Thank you so much. Just give us a couple of more minutes. Thank you.
Hello, everyone. Yes, the webinar is going on. It is still going to be published today. We are sorry for the inconvenience due to the technical glitch on Zoom. We couldn't connect the webinar on time, but we appreciate your patience and thank you so much for being patient today. And we will start the webinar in a couple of minutes. We have our presenters who have joined in again, and we will start in a few minutes, not more than that. So we appreciate your patience and we are extremely sorry for the inconvenience caused. We'll have the presenter Mohit joining in a couple of minutes. Once he has joined in, he will be able to share his screen and we will start with the webinar. So here he is. Mohit has joined in. Hey, Mohit.
Hey, hi, Barry.
Yep. So I have made you the co-host. You can share your screen, and without any further ado, we can start the webinar directly. You can present your video and then start with the webinar.
Hello, everyone. Playing a video.
Well, hello everyone. Welcome to today's webinar on MyCPE. My name is John and I'm joining you from Houston, Texas. I hope you are safe and healthy. I'll be your moderator for today's webinar. Please let us know where you are joining from, the city, state, or any part of the world. Firstly, I want to make sure your audio and video are working properly and you can see the screen and hear the sound. Please let us know in questions panel. In case you lose audio connection anytime during the webinar, you can still dial in using your phone to hear the audio. The phone number and access code to dial into the webinar is sent to chat panel. If you get any technical issues during the webinar, please feel free to reach us in Q&A or chat or email us at support@my-cp.com so we can address your questions. With Q&A instructions in chat panel. Also, if you are logging in through browser or web portal, it may not support polling questions. So in case if you cannot see or submit polling questions, please share your answers in chat panel and we'll consider your answers for processing credit. Before we proceed, I'd like to thank you for choosing MyCPE as your continuing education partner. We started a social initiative. For every credit that you receive on our platform, we donate 1 meal to an underprivileged under our One Credit, One Meal program. So thank you again for supporting our wonderful cause. You are required to remain logged in into this session till the end and answer all the following questions. An evaluation form shall be sent to you on your registered email. Once you complete the evaluation form, you will receive your credit certificate within 24 hours. This is an interactive webinar, so feel free to put your questions in the Q&A tab and the presenter will be happy to answer them on the go or towards the end of the webinar. Also, we're going to open the microphone for all the attendees one at a time to ask their question towards the end. So raise your hands and we'll unmute you to ask your questions. The presenter for today is Mr. Mohit Jain. Mohit has been associated with Ace Cloud Hosting for more than 8 years. He's exceptional at articulating solutions across a wide variety of services like cloud computing and storage, workload, migration, and cloud management. His expertise in valuation and services add significant value to the business. Today, along with Mohit, we have Avni, Radhika, and Varuntesh will be looking after Q&A and chat. They will be answering your questions. So without any further ado, let's welcome Mohit, today's presenter. Mohit, the stage is all yours. Over to you now.
Well, thank you, John, and hello, everyone. I am really excited to dive into the world of cloud computing during this webinar today with you all. I would like to apologize for the technical glitch that we faced and we had to start a little late, but then I'm equally excited about our collaboration with MyCPE to make this happen. As we are seeing a lot of teams, businesses, companies, and move to the cloud, automating things in lieu of the recent pandemic. So it should be a really good use of our time, and I hope we get something out of it. I'll get you a little background about us. ACE is an MSP or a managed service provider solving cloud computing needs like virtual desktops, remote workspaces, and hosting applications for small to mid-sized businesses across the US. Some things we are good at is we generally go beyond just hosting a few of your applications. We move your business to the cloud. Not every business has same needs, and we realize that. So any custom applications that you have, any traditional application you have, any integrations, webhook or databases, third-party applications, add-ons, managing your employee permissions, their data access, if you have more than one layer of employees in your organization. So, and setting them all up in a secure environment. So that's really what we do. We have already wasted a lot of time, so I'm quickly going to move ahead. And you already know me. As John told you, I have been working with Ace Cloud Hosting for it's more than 8 years now. This is an old slide. I am working in the capacity of a consultant, so I'll spend my time discussing a lot of solutions for cloud, assisting in migrations, uh, gathering your requirement if you have different kind of needs, understanding your uh, user categories, your applications in need, and then creating a robust solution that can help you with a agile system. Today's agenda, we wanted to cover something about ACE, then moving on to discussing what is cloud hosting, and what is cloud hosting is good, but then when you move to the cloud, what does it mean? Why should you opt for cloud hosting? What solutions can we offer to you? And then moving on to because a lot of us are from accounting or finance background here, so we will be discussing QuickBooks and other tax applications and why do we move them to the cloud. We will also discuss a few cases, real life scenarios, our clients who were willing to participate in this and share their experience, how they migrated to the cloud, what was their process, and what kind of a solution they got. Uh, then we will be discussing if and how you move to the cloud. So easy steps on moving to the cloud, and why should you choose ACE? That's us. In between, we will be taking a few pauses. If you have any questions, you can raise them in the Q&A, and my team will help me with those questions, and I will try to address them. Moving on, so we have been regarded in the accounting industry for our hosting experiences. We also serve finance, legal, retail, and construction industry. We got a few awards listed here: K2 Enterprises Award in 2019, Finances Online in 18, and User Favorite Award during Accountex USA in 2016. Uh, about our presence, we have been offering such solutions for the last 15 years, constantly evolving with the newer technologies that are coming across. Uh, we have 8 data centers, and we are adding a few more. And the infrastructure is laid out in a really beautiful manner. I mean, let's say you are in Chicago and you have a server in Chicago or any place nearby, so that will be your host location, and other locations will serve as your backup or disaster recovery locations. And these could be a little, disaster recovery or business continuity could be some words that we will understand during the later slides today. In terms of our experience, we have migrated more than 20,000 businesses to the cloud. Of these businesses have been of different natures, different sizes, different requirements, and we keep on adding them. And the client, once they start using our services, so we also give you a evaluation period. So our conversion ratio from trial to a client is around 90%. So that tells me that there is something we are addressing and there is something we are solving. Average age of our client is 3 years right now, and we are making all the efforts to increase that. So moving on, what is cloud hosting? Um, Cloud hosting is, it's a type of service. It's a service where we move, everything remains the same, your functionality remains the same, but at the back end, your infrastructure is moved to the cloud. Now, this gives us the capability to access it on the go, collaborate with our peers, our clients, our remote workers, remote employees. And it is so important right now during this pandemic that we have such facilities available. So cloud hosting does just that. You take your uh, applications, your employees into the cloud, you get the access to use those services, that system, from the from your laptop at home, or you can then go to your office, switch it on. If you're traveling, you can use it on the go. So that is what cloud hosting is all about. And another benefit is, it's really easy to scale up or down. I mean, let's think of a traditional system. If you have a server at your office and you are looking to add more employees, and more employee means more server compute. More server compute means a need of additional hardware. So that requires you'll have to pass it through your finance, take your budgets approved, then place an order, then your IT team will come into the picture, then there's a lot of learning. Now, cloud hosting solves that for you, because scaling up is merely an email away. All you have to do is raise a request, and your MSP can really fulfill it really quickly. Okay, we have a poll in here. I'll give you a minute to go to the poll and answer and take this quickly.
Thank you, Mohit. Ladies and gentlemen, the first polling question of the day is on your screens now. Please choose appropriate option and hit submit button. You have 60 seconds to submit your answers. Also, if you have any questions, please feel free to share them in Q&A or chat panel. Right, we have some answers in here, and a few of the attendees have answered the poll and Q&A session. It's the last 15 seconds, guys. All right, thank you everyone for submitting your responses. I'm gonna end the poll now. Mohit, I'm going to share the result on your screen now, and over to you.
All right, so I see that we have a really diverse audience today. There are 29% of us who are using cloud services in one capacity or the other. Then there's a large chunk who haven't used cloud as of yet, and I'm sure you will be benefited from our today's webinar because we'll be dropping a few links in the in the chat window, which can point you to a demo, and you can also avail a free trial with us if you're attending this webinar. And if that doesn't happen automatically to your email, you can reach out to us. There are some people who are considering, and this could, I hope that you get some information today, and we can follow it up with more discussions if you had like to. All right. Moving on, moving to cloud. So what does it exactly mean? I mean, we say that we can move your business to the cloud. What does it mean? So cloud, you know, it is a freedom of using the system. It is like, you don't have to go to your office and go to the exact same bench and PC and then log in and then start your work. It gives you freedom, it gives you flexibility, and it gives you a real good manageability. You have automated reports with you, you can do a lot of things. So we discussed scalability a little bit during our previous slide. Let's take up an example. Let's say you have a new employee coming in, and you want to set them up with your all your tools and all the data that he can have access to or they can have access to. So traditionally, they will raise a request with your IT maybe, or whosoever is in charge, and then they will create that request in the IT queue. They will create that system, upload files, and things like such. So right now, because first you can outsource it or you can set it up on your own too if you have the technical capability. All you have to do is go to a portal, which is a very interactive portal. You right click on that and you hit add user. You have a profile already created for employee, or you can create a new profile and you attach that to it. With a managed provider, you don't have to worry about even that. All you have to do is raise a request, and it should be done within the time defined by the MSP you have chosen. So traditionally, MSPs would take a day or two, but then the things have really spun up. They are really quick right now, and they can do that within a few minutes if they're available. This also helps you getting rid of your IT hardware. I mean, your all the expenses that you put in to manage your hardware. And there are ways we are adapting to a new way of working, and we want employees to, or our peers, or our partners to access it from home or on the go, so they can use their own device. Traditionally, the concern was sharing that data on that device could be a concern. It could be a security thing, especially some of us from accounting background would understand the QuickBooks files or even the tax files. It's not safe to get them on their local PCs. So cloud has really evolved. In my experience with ACE, I've seen the technology constantly evolving, and all of this has been solved. So we can do IAM system, which is identity access management, and they then go into a secure workspace where all the permissions are set, and they cannot move the data out. They can work there, and it's like their office space and on their personal PC. So it is cool. Flexibility, yeah, we have covered a lot of it. Using your documents, your apps, anytime, anywhere, and from any device. We all have diverse set of devices. Some of us using iPads, phones, laptops, Chromebooks. So you can use them all and still get into the same system and work. Your collaboration has also improved. Collaborating with your peers was never easy. Traditionally, people who haven't experienced cloud, so taking an example of a file, maybe an Excel file, you would update that and send it to your the other person who have to work on it. Then they will work on it and they will version it probably. Then they will send it across. A solution could be, we host that file in the same server, we create access for all the users, and they log in to the same server space. Although all these people will be thinking that they are on their own server, but then their file is shared. Now when they use it, it will be updated real time. So no more hassling around sending this file across. And this is not only for Excel, this is for all your data where you work offline, that can be put into the cloud and can be used in different ways. Manageability, so from point of view of people who are managing a different set of employees. Let's say there's a manager out there, or there's a head of team who is doing this, and even IT teams who are managing all the infrastructure. It's really easy for them. They can make changes in a few clicks rather than going through a whole lot of steps. Moving on, why opt for cloud hosting? Avni tells me that there are some questions. Avni, do we have any questions?
Hi, Mohit. We have a question from Scott.
Uh-huh.
He asked, is the cloud still apps hosted on servers? Is the cloud services still apps hosted on the servers?
Okay, I get the question. And Scott, thank you for taking up this question. No, it is not. It is not just apps hosting on the server, and we will cover this during our later on slides. So today, if you understand this part about cloud, we are not covering SaaS-based solutions of cloud. We are covering infrastructural solutions. Now, in those solutions, we will be covering virtual desktops. Some people go, we also call it VDI. We will be covering virtual servers. We will be covering workspaces. Workspaces are a new way. And these solutions are iterated by VMware, Citrix, and even OpenStack. So we will be covering those. And no, it's not just apps hosting.
Yeah, that's it, Mohit.
All right. Uh, Thank you for that question, Scott. I hope I was able to answer that, or you can, raise a follow-up question again. Moving on, why opt for cloud hosting? Collaboration, of course. We discussed that. Working with your peers from any location in real time, updating that file in real time, no to and fro operations is something that has saved a lot of time for business firms. Uh, Addressing it in an example of a CPA firm who can have a lot of clients. Let's say we give them a solution, so they will host their whole lot of their different versions of accounting applications, different years of apps, different years of tax files, and now their collaboration with some online systems like a webhook or a web integration. All that is contained in a server. This access is given to their clients. Now the client will have their own access. They will see only their data file, and their employees can work on it. Likewise, employees in the CPA firm can get real-time updates on that. Costs, we covered, we talked about hardware. Even if your hardware and your, the office space, your power requirements, all of that can be saved, and it can be, it's in a way, it's a managed thing. So you don't have to worry about all these things when you move to a cloud solution. Accounting operations to be secure. So because the solutions are very smart, they are very secure. They are backed by multiple firewalls, network firewalls, SSL, data encryption, multi-factor authentication, and there are a lot of threats, like you have heard of ransomware, DDoS attacks. So there are a lot of things being done to control them. There are new solutions in identity and access management, which also offer single sign-on, but then they're also very secure, and they ensure that only authorized users have to access applications and data. So all these host servers, which are essentially the best data center facilities across the states, they're really well built. They are tier 3, tier 4 data centers. They have redundant power backups, internet. They are very secure in terms of security, right from physical to the network part. It's really secure, and we will cover security in our later slides. So I'm parking that uh, security piece here. Backups. So backups are really important. If you're working on a file, what if the file gets corrupted, or it is accidentally deleted, or you lost your days of work in a file? So what you can go back to is, if your MSP is offering you backups, or if you have a backup system or a strategy in place, you can fetch those backups really quick, and you can start working again. So this is an additional layer, so that you have a backup. And we all all have backups in our phone today. So the photos are backed up, so we have additional copy. It's exactly the same. But how backup can become better is, if you are having them in multiple places. You're not you're not tying it down to only one place. So let's say the location we talked about, Chicago, and we are backing it up in Chicago. And what if Chicago goes down? All of your data will be lost. So that's why what an MSP would usually do, it will have a backup strategy. It will back up your data in, so in our case, it will be in Reno or in Texas, so that there is a lot of geographical gap, even if there was a natural disaster, but then your data is safe. We have another poll in place.
Thank you, Mohit. Ladies and gentlemen, the second polling question is on your screens now. Last 15 seconds. Right, I'm going to end the poll now. Thank you everyone for submitting your responses. Mohit, I can see that 44% of people have answered for option C, data security, time, and cost. I'm going to share the result with you, and over to you now.
Thank you, John. All right, so of course, data security, and we will cover a lot of it. I'll save more time for security, time, and cost. Cost is something, it's a good discussion that we can have. But people who think that's data security or time, and even people who think that changing management, yes, there is a learning curve, but then if you're if you're essentially outsourcing it, that experience can be really smooth. If you're trying to do that with your team of your own, you sure will require a lot of expertise. And if you have the right people in place, it's still easy for you. People with lack of expertise, I'll suggest that we start off with a few consultation sessions. We can have multiple rounds of discussions if you're up for it, and we can discuss how we can implement that. And this is something that we do custom solutions, and we try to cater to all the kinds of requirements so that we can reach out to most of you. And there are other concerns, you can reach out to us, you can tell us all about it, and we can discuss them. Moving on, what do we offer? Starting with application hosting, that's the most the most traditional way of using a cloud, and it's still one of the robust one because the security is unparalleled. You get a for those who understand, there's a remote desktop connection. You remote into a server. There's a connector that's given to you, and that connector can be accessed via anything, a device, a Mac, a Windows laptop, or a Chromebook, or an iPad, or even an iPhone. And this will have a very secure access. So you will each have your username and a password. You click on that, you enter into the server, and there you have a all those who have used Windows PC at some point in their life, so they will realize that it's exactly the same, and you will get all your applications installed right there. uh, you can have everything, there will be a desktop, there will be a start button, so everything will be the same and your data will be there. So my point here is your experience remains the same. People who use QuickBooks and they are aware that QuickBooks Desktop is a very complex tool when compared to QuickBooks Online. We get clients who want to migrate to QuickBooks Online, and after a few months or sometimes even a few weeks, they will switch back to QuickBooks Desktop. So QuickBooks Desktop is something that can be hosted. QuickBooks Online is a SaaS-based tool, but then their functionality lacks. So with cloud hosting or with application hosting, you get a you get your very same desktop version of QuickBooks on the server, and you can collaborate. And this goes for all the applications listed here and more. What do we support? We support, as I said, almost anything which is primarily to say Microsoft compatible. We host more than 200 plus applications that are in the Intuit's ecosystem. So we host them all. We host SQL databases. We host QDMS applications. We host webhooks, web integrations. So anything that you have, we can discuss that. And I think we will have a solution for you. One of the latest offerings we have are VDI solutions. So this is another part, another piece to cloud infrastructure services or cloud services. VDIs are, a new way of doing LANs that we did. LANs were, if you have an office place, you set up a LAN so that everybody is on the same server that is private to your company. Now, VDI is a replica of that in the cloud. Let's say you have 50 members in your team, and 10 of them are, they're in sales, they are on the foot. So they can access this VDI solution from a mobile device, and they can update their sales transactions from there. Or if you have a retail chain and you want to update your retail transactions, you can do that from that VDI or a virtual desktop, and you can update that. While the other 40 employees who are actually working from the back office are real-time updated, and they can, in a real-time basis, they can work on the systems too. Of course, we get all the advantages of cloud, like access on the go, backups, disaster recovery, that all remains same. With VDI, one thing changes is that you can now also take your desktop to the cloud. So you can take your Windows 10 to the cloud. You can have the exact same Windows every time and anytime you work. So all the data on your desktop can be there. These are all the services. Desktop as a service is essentially the entire umbrella. One can, one can address desktop as a service as a cloud hosted server or a virtual desktop or a workspace. I get clients who tells us that what is the difference between workspace and a virtual desktop. So workspace is a smarter way, a browser based thing or a client based thing. A client is a application or a connector that you install in your respective device to connect to these things. And you know the advantage of workspace is that it directly gives you access to an app, so you don't have a desktop per se. So when you log in, you see all your apps listed. Like, if you switch on a work mode on your phone, you can see all the apps that you're going to use or need for your work. While in a virtual desktop, you will be essentially logging in into a desktop and seeing all your apps in a desktop in a Windows environment, so or a Linux environment per se. Addressing those who are QuickBooks users, QuickBooks hosting is, it was the product that we started off with some 10-15 years back when we started hosting QuickBooks. And since then we have helped a lot of private businesses, CPAs and accounting firms to move to cloud and take benefit from it, access it on the go. They don't have to anymore visit their clients or be on the phone calls, exchanging information on data. Why move to cloud? We have partially covered this all, and due to the time constraint, I will be quickly moving on. We get remote access, virtual workspaces, bank level security. I'll save some time for that. Backup, fully featured QB desktop or desktop in general without QuickBooks or with any other application. Cross-device compatibility, productivity enhancement in various terms. I mean, in terms of your collaboration, in terms of your team's productivity, and cost savings. Another poll, John, can we quickly take this one?
Well, thank you, Mohit. Ladies and gentlemen, the third polling question is on your screens now. As we are moving towards ahead with the presentation, feel free to submit your questions in Q&A or chat panel. Also, towards the end, we are going to open the microphone for all the attendees one at a time, so you can speak up and ask your question to Mohit directly.
Mohit, we have a question here. What do you require from us, that is user, to have QuickBooks hosted?
Okay, so depending upon the version you are having and the number of users, we will need your version of QuickBooks. We will need to understand the size of your QuickBooks files. We would also need to understand, do you plan to have more applications on the with QuickBooks that you use? Generally, it goes with Office 365 or it goes with other productivity tool. Excel is it's a easy go. People generally do Excel with QuickBooks. So you have to figure that if you need that, and that's it. We will need to know your usernames who would need access, and we can spin up a server for you in 4 hours.
Okay, thank you, Mohit.
All right. All right. So does your accounting software offer remote accessibility? I am glad to see that 75% of us are already using a solution which is offering the accessibility. The remaining 25%, I'm sure you are new to this, so we can go through the learning curve together. And for the rest of you, there can be other other cloud solutions, not only your accounting tool. And let's say if you're using any applications, any SaaS-based application, and all you need to use cloud is for the permissions, or the way people should access it, should be able to access it. It should be a browser-based access only, or it should be an app-based access only. Or if you want to define or whitelist some IPs, that these are the areas where they should be able to access from, we can do all that. And Workspaces is a very good offering in this case, or a VDI solution for generally employees who who are working from different locations.
Mohit, can we take quickly one question from Renee?
Sure.
Yeah, she asked, do you do cloud for small business as solo ownership, one employee?
Yes, we do that, Renee, and please get in touch with us. We can help you with that.
Thank you.
Let's quickly discuss a solution that South Bay Accounting. They are an accounting firm, of course. They have been providing uh, QuickBooks Desktop and QuickBooks Online advisory services to their clients since 25 years. Uh, so they contacted us. The challenge was they were looking to collaborate with their clients and their staff. And the solution we gave them was a two-layered solution where there was a access for clients, which was a very restrictive access. The clients would have only their data, which they can see when they use the services, and staff based on the permission that you decide. So let's say you have an employee who works on 3 companies or 3 clients per se. So he can see all those 3 files. Now, Renee, if you have such a setup, you can tell us all about it, and we can help you there. And we did that. We created a solution for that, and since then they have been a client for more than 5 years with us. Steve Neville is the CEO, and he said, while working on QuickBooks Online, we missed some very important features apart from the occasional network lag. On the other hand, the advantage of cloud hosting services is that you get to work with a fully featured desktop version of QuickBooks. We discussed that. Thanks, Steve. Plus any additional software you might need, like Office, Acrobat, Reader, printing, scanning. I'm adding that, which meant hosting was an obvious choice for them. Another firm was Drive Accounting, again, accounting firm. They were given a private server, so they were actually a larger client for us because they had around uh, uh, 25, 30 users who would use it. Plus, there were around 30, 40 client accesses that they need. So they also took input from their clients. So their challenge was, again, their client files, staff members, and they also had a few employees who were working from remote locations. Now, this client, Drive Accounting, Ted Hanna, they were one of my first clients when I joined ACE. Now, they reached out to us at the time when there was no pandemic in picture. So they still needed that. But right now, I'm sure that a lot of us are working remotely and from safe places so that the virus doesn't affect us. So this can be a really good solution for you. He said we needed a remote solution for our client's data. Specifically, we wanted to provide a remote option that allows my team to work on the client's file from any location for clients not wanting to use QBO. Okay, quickly covering and addressing how do you move to cloud. Simple steps. You approach us. We understand your business. We understand what are you trying to do and what solution are you after. It's and addressing Scott again. It's not just uh, application hosting. It could be any need that you have and you think a virtual infrastructure in any shape, any desktop as a service kind of a solution can fit into it. We can have a discussion, and it can be a no commitment discussion so that we understand what you need. Then we choose the type of cloud you want. This is where we start to get an idea of what you need and we start to shape up a solution. After that, if you're an accounting firm, we choose your right softwares. If you're not, we work on the softwares you will need. We work on your user permissions. You work on your hierarchies. We work on your setups. We work if you need dedicated servers. We work if you need, if you can go ahead with RDSH based setups. And then we deliver that to you if you agree with it. Why choose ACE for accounting professionals out there? We are an Intuit authorized commercial host. We offer 100 days rolling data backup. Now this is industry best. Uh, we have a customer support that is always on. So this is one of our USP, that you are just an email, chat, form, or a query away. You can write to us, you can call us, you can email us, and the support team will be right there with you, because uh, we can be working during off hours, we can be working during holidays, and you will be still supported. Uptime is generally downtime is if you're not able to access the system. Uptime is the other part of it. We offer 99.999% uptime, so that's literally only 2 hours or 3 hours of downtime a year. Apps integration we have covered. Business continuity is something because everything is redundant. With at least with ACE, we are a MSP that which have everything in redundant. So if you think about the backend of your solution, which you don't have to actually think about, um, everything, every network, every that LAN wire, that connection between the servers, the server and the data center itself is redundant. So one data center goes down, there's another available. That goes down, there's another one still available, and these are geographically apart. And the beauty of the services is none of the data is going outside of US. It's still in the mainland of US, and it's still backed up within the US. And to address that, there are so many compliances that we follow, our data centers follow. You can check all about it with us. Customize cloud. So yeah, we can do a tailor-made solution for you. Bank level security, I'll cover that in the last slide today. Bank level security is, it's easier to said than done, but then we will cover it. Of course, people who are attending this webinar can get in touch with us. If this is not done automatically, you can raise a doubt, or you can raise a query with my CPE or directly with us, and we can address that. Last slide of for today is security. Now, security has been our major concern. People have been really skeptic about moving to cloud, and security is first thing. And saw that in the poll too. There were 44% people concerned about the security. Now, security is something, it's like, let's understand threats, and let's relate it to the most common scenario that we all are aware of. Let's let's compare it with COVID, the corona situation. So for humans, corona cannot be seen, the virus cannot be seen. It just comes into your system, it comes into your body, and you know it 4 or 5 days after it has come into it, if you're not asymptomatic, of course. Similarly, there are so many threats in the network, and there are so many people out there who are trying to get a piece of your data so that they can sell it, they can use it to your disadvantage, and so many things. That is where you need a exceptional security control. And when we say bank level security, let me try to define it for you. So starting from the host, where a security threat can be presented from your employee who is trying to log in, but he loses his password and somebody copies it. So that can be addressed by additional layers of security during the sign on. So apart from username and a secure password, you have identity access management system topped with a multi-factor authentication, and it is backed on a cloud hosted solution by a RD gateway. Moving on, when you go inside, and a lot of people use emails on our hosted servers, and emails are a great threat. There are phishing attempts, there are so many mal-intended emails which land in your inbox, and accidentally some of us click on that. Now that is another source which is out of an MSP's hands, and it goes out and it starts to affect your environment. Ransomware is one such threat, which comes into your system, and it there are ways it can go into your backups, and it can corrupt everything. And ransomware, as the name suggests, it locks your file, and it asks for you to it asks for a ransom in bitcoins. And if you don't do that, you cannot get access to your data. All your years of work is affected. So that is controlled via a firewall system. It's a redundant firewall system. There's a network firewall, there's a host firewall, and it doesn't let it pass through. Even if it does, um, you know give you a backdrop. 2 years back, one of our when a competitor, I would say, was hit by such thing, and our management took a call of having a dedicated security team. Since 2 years, they have been working really well. I mean, talk about emails. They send emails to our internal employees. They are a test basically. They send us an a click, and when you click on that, they say that we got you, so that we are aware that we don't have to work on such phishing emails. Then they suggested worm tape backups. Now, worm tape backups are air gap backups, and they are write once. So once it is used, it cannot be used again. Now, this means that your data backup is not only rolling backup, you also have multiple copies, and you can have that on demand, and they cannot be corrupted because it was on a disk, and that is not, you cannot write on it again. They suggested a CM tool. We are using CrowdStrike right now, and they are industry leaders in offering security information and event management solutions. So any provider telling you that we can commit 100% security, they cannot, because a lot of threats are from user or the person accessing it from that end as well. So CM helps us with that. We are attacked by threats all the time. I mean, daily, almost daily, and we track them down within seconds because these are all identified threats, and you know we work on them. Now, this was about the host covering the network from which your data is passed and you connect from your local system to the cloud. We are talking about a network which has to be very secure. So it has to be SSL, based. It has to have all the necessary components so that the data is not lost in between, or it is not hacked in between. So that is in place. Then comes the infra, the data center or the servers, where all of this is going to stay and reside. These are all physically very well covered and backed up by, in case it goes down, it is backed up in all aspects. It has all kind of systems to not physically, go out of sight. But even if that happens, we have disaster recovery. So in case a data center goes down, and God forbid, I mean, that shouldn't happen because a lot of things will affect. But then if that happens, your server can be still safe because it is parallelly running as a closed machine and it's a replica basically. So everything is the same, and it's running a data center which is miles across. Another poll we have, the last one, I guess.
Yeah,
John?
that's correct. Thank you, Mohit. The last polling question of the day is on your screen, guys. You have 60 seconds to submit your responses. Thank you so much, everyone, for your support and cooperation. Again, we are sorry for the technical error today. We still have some time, so if you guys have any questions, please raise your hand and we'll unmute you to ask the questions. Right, last 15 seconds.
Mohit,
Mhm.
we have a question. While migrating to the cloud,
Mhm.
uh, will the features of the software remain the same, or will it be compromised for the user?
Can you come once again, Avni, for me?
Yeah, while migrating to the cloud,
Mhm.
will the features of the software application that is hosted on the cloud,
Mhm.
will the features will be the same, or will it be compromised?
Okay. So, no, they won't be compromised, is my answer. But then, let's take it. Why does it matter? Because we are essentially taking the same application, your same functionality, your same features, everything that you do, your links to your bank accounts, your links to your any application. So let's say a QuickBooks user using Bill.com, and it's a SaaS-based thing. So it syncs with Bill.com. So that sync remains the same, and your features remains the same. You can still do PDFs, you can still do a lot of it. And while you also mention a word migration, I would like to say migrating data is fairly simple, and it should it requires a little input from you, but then it's fairly simple.
Okay. Okay, and Bruce is just concerned if Intuit will be continuing with the QuickBooks versions, or will be just keeping the QuickBooks Online version, because he heard somewhere that QuickBooks Online will be there and the other versions will be discontinued.
Whom was that question from, Avni?
Bruce.
Bruce.
Yeah.
Hi, Bruce. Bruce, so I have been hearing this, and we have been contemplating on this for the last 8 years now. 2012, we discussed if QuickBooks Online is the future, and 2020, we are still discussing the same topic. That is essentially because QuickBooks Desktop offers a lot of functionality which QuickBooks Online is not able to come at par with. It has already been 8 years for a company like Intuit, so I'm guessing there are still more years left, at least couple of years, at least, maybe even even 4 or 5 years. But then QuickBooks Online really needs to come at par with the desktop version, and with Intuit investing a lot of features on enterprise version and then accountant version. They now have a 40 user license too for enterprise. I think they are also investing in the desktop version big time, so that tells me that it could be more years, if anything.
Okay. Thank you, Mohan.
All right, so that was all the questions now. So we have got some hands raised here. Let's ask Jim if he has any questions for us today. Jim, can you hear us? We have Eva Fang with us today. Let's see if she has any question for us today. Eva, can you hear us?
Eva, if you can hear us, and if you're not able to speak, you can drop a query in Q&A so that we know.
Right, let's ask Richard if he has any question, please. Hi, Richard, can you hear us? Do you have any questions for us today? Well, if you cannot access your microphone, you can still type in your question. So you have one more hand raised from Guyu. Right, so we've Benza James as well here. But James, can you hear us?
Yes, I can hear you.
Hi, James, how are you?
I'm fine, thank you.
Great. Far away with the question. We're glad to help you.
Okay, I just want to ask if one is hosting an application with you. Let's say like I'm hosting QuickBooks with you. Is it possible for me to host other applications too? Maybe like Sage and some other applications on the same virtual machine or server.
Yes, yes, you can do that. Offer I can quickly think of is a private server for your business and for your users, where we can host Sage, we can host QuickBooks, we can host any tax software if you use. Which industry are you from? You use Sage in for construction and real estate, or something else?
Actually, I'm a consultant, so I have clients
Mhm.
that use QuickBooks. I have some clients that use Sage. So I'm just looking at a situation where I can just offer the application as a service to them, such that they won't be the one responsible for the server. I will be the one. I will just give them access to create their company file on the application. Then they will be able to log in remotely and then do their work while I bill them for the service. So I'm just
Sure.
thinking if I have multiple clients that use different applications like QuickBooks, Sage, and the rest. So if I can host all those applications on one single server and they have like 5 or 10 different clients on that same server, is it possible?
It is possible. Yes, you can do that. You can, you can have a server where you can have all the applications. We will restrict your clients in a way that they see only their data and use the same applications. Likewise for other clients. And yes, you can do that. And we also have a referral program and a partnership program. And if you're willing to, we can discuss that and see if we can qualify for that.
Oh, okay, no, that will be fine. That will be fine.
And you can reach out to the same email that's on your screen, so that we can get in touch and I can work on it.
Okay, okay, I get it. I get it. Yeah, I'll contact you.
Sure. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you, James. All right, Gene wants to learn more about cloud accounting. Gene, you can send us an email or an email on this email address, which is on your screen right now. Right, Mohit, so the questions are all covered. Do you have any closing statement for us today?
Sure, it was really wonderful having you all. Thank you for joining us in such large numbers, even after we lost so many important minutes. I hope we could do this again. We will be running the recordings of this webinar in case you have missed anything, and we will be also doing some more webinars, and you can look out for that, and we can cover more topics. So people who are who are in a learning phase, they can go through these webinars and they can raise the questions on the email that is here. And people who are looking to consult about their business or their clients, um, like James did, I mean, you can reach out to us as well and we can work on a solution for you. So thank you.
Right, thank you so much, Mohit. It was crisp and informative presentation and you made it very interesting and informative. Thank you so much for joining in today, and we really appreciate your patience and cooperation. We'll make sure that it won't happen again. And to all the attendees, thank you so much for your patience. And evaluation form shall be sent within 24 hours to only those attendees who have who answered all the polling questions. And it is required for you to complete the evaluation form in order to receive the credit certificate. We would request you to rate the webinar and provide us with feedback about the platform, speaker, content, and the webinar in evaluation form. Our constant endeavor is to improve and provide you a better webinar experience. Also, you can follow us on social media so you can stay updated about our latest webinars and industry information, and also share it with your colleagues. If you need to view the recording of the webinar, or if you have any further questions, please reach out to us at support@moi-cp.com, and we'll provide you the link to view the recording and will assist you further. Thank you for being such a wonderful audience, and keep coming back. Stay safe and stay healthy. Thank you, everyone. This is your host, John, signing off today. Thank you.